Going going live, and we are live and in charge, hey, what welcome to the podcast episode 2.
Hopefully, it's better than uh, episode like sequels of other movies. Some sequels don't are not great, so
Yeah.
we're hoping that this sequel is way the hell better.
Well, it's going to be better. I mean, we're epic as one would say, you know?
Yeah, Chet. I'm seeing some new glasses, man. Those are those the one that are made of the same steel as the DeLorean, covered in like carbon fiber and some special like prototype sun repellent. It's got to be something special.
It is special. And yeah, these are. I don't want to talk about it. I can't. I don't want to get into how crazy they are, but just so you get an idea, you know,
Yeah,
here's looking
yeah,
at you. You know what I'm saying? These are
yeah.
these are inspired by some of my all-time favorite pictures I have on my wall of myself. And I was trying on different sunglasses, and I was like, who looks good in those sunglasses? Me. So I bought 48,000 pairs, so that way I don't have to worry about losing any.
Yeah, a lot of people will have posters of the heroes on their wall.
Yep.
Is it true that you have posters of yourself on the wall?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's if you want to, if you are, if they're truly your hero, okay, and they inspire you to be the best version of yourself that you can. Colt, welcome to the Colt Cannon, everybody. Welcome to the cast. If you need pictures of your heroes on your wall, okay, now hear me out, and they
Yeah.
inspire you to be the best version of yourself, then we're gonna give you what my answer is after the intro. Let's roll the intro. Thundercast. That's right. We have our own intro.
$1 million intro.
$1 million. Look, yes, I do have pictures of myself on my wall. I inspire myself to be the greatest ever of all time. Okay, and so I'm happy to tell you that yes, I do have pictures of myself on my wall. You don't have pictures of
Now,
yourself on your wall?
no, 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 no. There is a rumor on the internet that Chuck Norris has a Chet Maddox poster on his wall. That's the
Yeah,
rumor.
that is. That's because rumors sometimes exist in reality. And
Yeah.
yes, Chuck Norris has a bit. He actually called me and asked if it was okay because I needed to tell him how to reinforce his wall to hold up a picture of such magnitude.
Yeah.
So,
Well, excited about the new glasses. I'm excited about episode 2, and there's a lot to talk about coming off of
yeah,
our last week debut podcast.
yeah.
Um,
But which, by the way, took the internet by storm. In case anyone couldn't pay attention to that, we were
yeah,
we were epic.
yeah. Um, we are excited to talk about a couple things that happened over the week, and some new content that posted on the channel as well.
Yeah.
Super excited about that. And some streams. I know some streams are up and coming. But the first thing, the major video game news is Cold War multiplayer trailer and a gameplay by a few popular streamers on the internet. Chat your thoughts on what multiplayer, some of the maps, some of the designs already. What are you hyped?
Yeah, man. Let's address the comment in the comment section real quick. Colt Cannon, it is true. It is nude, and it's a privilege of Chuck Norris being almost as epic as I am. He gets that picture. It's not anywhere else. You know what I mean? It's just in his place. Hey, so thoughts on Cold War? Man, the gameplay, huh? I love the back and forth on the ships. I think that's cool. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I here's the thing. Treyarch always does a good job, man. Always. I mean, just look at the amount of like shit you can interact with. Boats, planes, sea-doos, water. You go in water. It changes the whole perspective of the game of how you're gonna play it.
Yeah.
Um, I just I really am I'm really hoping that there is a how do I say it? I want there to be a different version of Warzone. You know, I'm getting tired of the same map.
Yeah. They didn't really talk about that. What the integration would be of the new Cold War multiplayer and Warzone, and if that would be expanded, if that will change.
Yeah, I think
But I agree. We talked about it last week. It's getting a little stale. Um, Cold War looks really promising. I like some of the maps and designs. Here's the question: when that comes out, will there be a simultaneous expansion or release of Warzone map? Because they run the risk of people dropping off of Warzone and jumping in specifically just to multiplayer
yeah.
on Cold War, which maybe that's the intent. I don't know. But I'm stoked, man. I mean, look, I'm a Call of Duty fan.
Yeah.
I like the era. Maps seem pretty cool. And I can't wait for the overpowered weapons to frustrate the shit out of me.
Hey, look, if they just don't have riot shields in this game, it's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
heard it's going to be only shotguns and riot shields.
well that would make sense. I guess that would make sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
what are the two most hated fucking things in Call of Duty? In Warzone? And let's just only do that. That's just all we want is that one thing, you know? I think look at the end of the day, like, yes, the gameplay that I saw of people like playing and doing what they do, it looked fun, you know. But I don't how much of that is fun because they were just a bunch of like high profile streamers that don't run around like dipshits, you know. That's what I'm curious is when this beta goes live, what's the gameplay gonna be like? Are you gonna have people that like? There's a whole new level of camping now, right? There's this level of like camping underwater now.
Could you imagine that?
Because they talked about like even in the intro video they talked about like it was like go in from like the shores and like work your way up or whatever it was, like even hide out in the water. And it was like, wait, you're encouraging people to fucking hide out in the water? So like I'm gonna land in, right? And then I'm gonna jump into the water and what? Like I'm just gonna continue to stay in the water and prone and shoot people as they like run by and they're like, oh, where's this coming from, right? And it's just you're laying in the water.
Maybe you have your riot shield, you jump in the water, and it acts as a flotation device. And you
Oh,
sit on the riot shield, and you fucking camp and snipe people in the water.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's what. Or what was that? What was that like little lifeboat thing? They like ran it up on like a ramp and then just decided to. Well, it was that, right? Like they did a ramp, then he went underwater and waited for the guy to like jump in.
Mm-hmm. The question will be, since it's set in Miami in the 80s, will we see a DeLorean? That is the
Well,
biggest question.
if they did Google screenshots, and they were anywhere by my house, which my house is like right on the beach, they would have gotten a shot of the like 7 DeLoreans I have lined up. So hopefully, you know.
Yeah. Well, look, I think it's too early to tell how it's going to play. It's pretty damn exciting, to be honest with you. Um, and the biggest question is how this will impact Warzone.
Yeah.
So I guess we will just wait and see how that all turns out.
Yeah.
Speaking of how all turns out, last week we spent some time talking about Marvel Avengers, and we didn't have a lot of positive things to say about it.
That is correct.
But now that things have evolved, perhaps it's turning the corner, and Avengers has potential. Yeah. What are your thoughts thus far after several more hours of gameplay?
Man, I still think it's super crappy. And I love it, you know. I look here. Okay, let's just go through some of the experiences because no one else is gonna talk about the issues that's happening with fucking Marvel Avengers. Uh, the gameplay. You know what? We ultimately decided it's WoW for nerds. And so I'm gonna let you guys process that for a little bit. But here's some things, and I don't necessarily want to blame it on. Well, this one I don't want to blame on Avengers, but let's talk about your experience trying to play Avengers. Can we bring that up? Can we just talk about, because this has to do a lot, and we just want people to realize if you're having lag issues or you're having choppiness with Avengers, like we want to walk you through our experiences of what it was, and then hopefully that clears it up, and we'll get into a little bit more of the issues around Avengers. And for those of you just joining, welcome to the world's best podcast ever, Thundercast. We are on episode 2. If you do not or have not clicked that subscribe and the notification bell, you better do it, or I'm going to steal your AC and you're going to burn to death in the heat. So make sure you hit that shit. But Rad, let's get into your experience on that, and it does have to do with Avengers because we were trying to play Avengers.
Yeah, I mean, look, you read the forums online, and you could see that the game is full of bugs and graphic issues, and I mean, within the matter of a couple of weeks of release, there was just a ton of things going on, a lot of complaints, console players, PC players. Although it has gotten better, there's still just been some significant issues.
Yeah.
I had a unique issue. I got a pretty high-end PC, no problems playing a variety of different games on high settings, and for whatever reason, as I'm running with Chet and I'm running with a couple other folks on our team, graphics just a crazy FPS drop, lag, couldn't play the fucking game. I'm looking into it. I'm like, what the hell is the issue? Monitor settings, I was just frustrated. I was ready to throw the computer out the window.
Yeah.
Turns out,
which I would have done, by the way. Let's be clear.
Yeah.
I would have just thrown that shit out the window.
That's why you have 7 computers. Because one is actually working and 6 are, I think, somewhere in your backyard. The dogs get to just chew on shit.
With feet, with footholes in the glass. That's how it works.
But it turns out, and this is not related to Marvel, but just in general with Windows and Xbox, my Xbox wireless Bluetooth controller was causing the FPS drop. Now you might be thinking, if you haven't had this problem before, how the hell does a game go from like 60 minimum FPS to 10 and lag the shit out of a game when your Xbox controller is connected? How does it happen?
Please tell me. Explain.
But if you read some forums and issues online, you'll see this is not a unique circumstance, and this has happened on multiple occasions. So, the first problem is I'm running an Xbox controller, so I plug in the PS4 controller, plug it in, we're good to go, no issues. I'm back, and it's been fun. Still glitchy as shit.
Yeah.
Get locked in a lot of different types of screens. So they need to repair it, but I gotta be honest with you, I'm having a hell of a time playing Hulk and multiplayer. It's pretty damn fun. So hopefully they make some adjustments, make it a little bit less buggy, and expand the amount of characters you can use too. Because I think over time, just like Warzone, you want more characters, and there's a shitload in the Marvel universe, especially in the Avengers universe. So don't stop with your generic crew. I want to play Black Panther. I want to play with, um, you know, uh, the dudes from all of the Avengers movies. I think it would just be badass. We talked about last week if we could run Groot and Rocket Raccoon as a duo in
Oh,
multiplayer.
did it be over?
Fucking
Yeah.
take my money. Take my money.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So look, my issue with it is, it's just the fucking glitchiness, man. So like I'm trying to I to this point cannot actually beat the game, and it's not because I suck, because I don't. It's because when I get to the final level, and I'm running through the city, and I have to defeat these 5 like main dudes to progress the story, right? I beat 2 of them, and then 3 of them just disappear from the map, and I can't do anything out of that. I've reloaded this fucking level probably 15 times, different characters. Tried it as Cap, tried it as Black Widow, tried it as Thor, tried it as, it's just like, and every time it's like I get to this point, and then I beat them, and I beat 2 or 3 of them, and then the rest just disappear off the map. So I can't actually progress. So I don't really know what the end of the game is, you know. And along with that, there's another level where you're working with Taskmaster, and yeah, but same shit happens. Like, we get him down 1 bar of health. I think he's supposed to do something, but then he just disappears, and I can't do anything. So, super glitchy. I do think the game is fun as hell. I'm really loving playing Thor. Probably will never change his outfit. I think it's awesome to see him in just the shirt. But I wanted to kind of get your opinion on how you think this is going to progress and how they're going to keep longevity of the game, knowing that the campaign is like about 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it goes back to focusing in on the multiplayer aspect of things. Honestly, I think opening up the amount of characters that you can do. It's also pretty. I don't know. Maybe my experience. I haven't had a lot of hours in the game, but I haven't unlocked like one character skin. That's frustrating too. And I go in and like the amount of credits you need to unlock just a bullshit Hulk or bullshit Cap skin is a little too much. So if you want people's involvement, man, you got to make it a little bit lower cost, a little bit easier to obtain, get people to play the game.
Yeah.
It has strong potential. It's not where it needs to be, so I'm hoping they'll continue to expand and get me excited. But give me some additional characters, give me some additional skins that are easy to obtain, expand the missions, fix the bugs, fix the glitches.
Yeah.
I think the game could have some longevity because right now there's not a whole lot out there. To be honest with you.
Yeah, and I think it's just a different realm, right? Like I used to play World of Warcraft a ton. I got over it. It's too much. But I do want a game like that, and I feel like this fills that spot. And so I'm with you. I'm hoping that I don't have to spend like $40 to unlock like a Thor costume that I'm probably not going to use because I'm going to stick with this shirt. I will say that I noticed that there is a big purpose in this game of grinding out each day. So like jumping on like what are the dailies? Cool, I'm going to grind it out. You do the dailies, you get a costume, it's unlocked. But how much are they going to do that? And I'm hoping that the balance of microtransactions versus like daily grinds, because look, if I'm going to play every day, I'm not really opposed to the daily grinds. That's not what I'm saying, but I am opposed to them if you're not going to fix the fucking glitch problems where like you are fighting and then all of a sudden just people disappear on the map, you fall underneath the map, the shit doesn't work, right? Like one of the biggest things that I have a complaint with right now is for those of you that were on the stream when I was trying to stream our multiplayer game, I could not for the life of me get the fucking audio to work. And this doesn't mean that like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Steve, I had to fire him. I fired Steve. I got to actually like ask him if he wants to come back and work for me. But I fired Steve, and it's mostly Marvel's fault. And so I'm going to probably send them a notice from my lawyer about needing to pay Steve for his time off. I furloughed this guy for no fucking reason. Here's the thing: the audio in the game, if you use anything. So for those of you that are, yeah, Iron Man does fucking suck in this game. He's like the worst person in the game. And here's the thing: if if you if you are like playing any game, you always have like the client you get it from, right? So Steam, Epic Games, maybe it's just pure install, Blizzard, whatever. And then the game launches from there. We all know this. This is how fucking everything works. Here's the thing. In this game, I finally figured out the audio, and I use the Elgato Wave. That's what this mic is, and I use the Wave software because I don't want to buy Go XLR. It's a lot of fucking money, and I just frankly I don't need it. But in the Wave, that routes all the audio, right? And this is what Steve told me. I got to check with him. But the game pops up and populates audio as a game at first, and then it disassociates itself from that and then only puts itself through like the system game. So you have to figure that shit out in order to understand how to route the sound. And if you're using an Elgato Wave to route your sound for Avengers, you have to change the main output to be system on Elgato Wave for it to even work. Even though every other game you can route it to whatever channel you want to adjust it, doesn't matter, do whatever you want. Not this fucking game. Not at all.
Well, they've got some problems to work out. And again, last week's impression was not good. This week's impression is better. We got to monitor the game, man, but I'm going to keep playing until my graphics fucking explode or the game just becomes boring. But again, seeking something, that will be more exciting than your standard VR. So,
well, and also
more to
like
come.
let's talk on C Double's point for a minute here in chat. Iron Man sucks in this game. No shit. We were trying to play a game, and it's like you had to bring 4 people in, and Rad and I both were playing, and then we had Kamala and Iron Man, and literally Iron Man was doing nothing the whole time we were playing.
Yeah. Nothing.
Like nothing at all. And it's like there's tons of shit happening above us. He could have flown up and done it. Didn't do any of that. I mean, it's I don't know. We'll see. I think the hope is real, you know.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the hope is real, we were talking about Marvel Avengers on PC, but there's definitely some exciting things happening in the console world. And recently, Xbox came out with some news around the price point for their condensed version of the Xbox, I think S series, and then their next gen console. PS5 has announced their next console as well, but there has been some guesses on the price point. Maybe we could pull it up just for those who may not have seen it, just like if we can see what this smaller rendition of a really aggressive price point to get a next-gen console, and then obviously the one that everyone's anticipating. I'd love to just talk through, what you're looking forward to. What do you think about that strategy on Microsoft's behalf?
Where did you find? There we go. All right, hold on.
Yeah, it looks like it doesn't even look like a console. It looks like a small white speaker or something. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
Can we see? Hang on, let's see if this works.
Yeah, see if I can see if it works. I don't know. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. So
I don't know if we should play audio on this. I think maybe we'll get it taken down.
No, we don't need to. No, yeah, $299. This is the current version of the Xbox, but pretty badass price point for the holidays. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. You know, it's a little. I think that they have to really figure their stuff out. You know, I'm curious to see what the price point is. Let's see, um, $299. It makes me want to know like what we're gonna see for uh, PlayStation 5. You know.
Well, so 299 for this like S, and then what's the new one? What's the price point there? Did they say?
Uh, Let me look. If someone knows the price point, you can definitely tell us.
Yeah, I think I want to say it was like 499. Uh, because a lot of people were estimating it would be in upwards of 699.
Yeah,
Yeah,
four
so the
ninety nine.
Xbox,
Here it
yeah,
is. So
Xbox Series
series
X is
499.
499.
Yeah, right here.
So rumor was that the new consoles were supposed to be 599, and Sony hasn't released their price point yet. But now that Xbox has gone in and said this is it, I'm wondering if Sony will match that price.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, maybe. You know, I don't. I think they need a lot to. They got to do a lot, you know. And here's the other problem is that these guys are going against the new Nvidia cards.
yeah. So there's like a three-way competition for getting the increased amount of people gaming through COVID and in through the holidays. Who are people going to want to upgrade their PC or buy a PC, get into PC gaming? Are they going to want to upgrade their Xbox or PS5 or PlayStation console? And who will win that battle? 499 is a pretty aggressive price point. And then people that don't even have a newer Xbox, 299 is pretty badass too. It's going to open up the doors for a lot of people to get into higher graphic capability console gaming.
Yeah,
So
so
we'll
this
see.
is I want to bring this up because this is something that I think is really has potential to fucking kill the idea of buying a PlayStation. So along with the announcement of Xbox, they're kind of pulling an Apple here, and they're doing their own thing where you can get a Series X at launch, November 10th, starting at $24 a month with Game Pass Ultimate and EA Play. So like you literally can put whatever you want down on this thing, and then for $30 a month have an Xbox One X or an Xbox Series X. Sorry, but think about what that's doing. You know, like what is that doing to the industry at this point? You know,
Yeah.
so they're taking this model of they're taking this model of like uh, let's do this new cycle every year of iPhones, right? And they're just translating it to Xbox, which at the end of the day, they can do it, right? They're in a prime position right now to flood the market with the idea of this because if someone doesn't have the 499 up front, but they can stomach the 24, and it's almost better to pay the 24.99 a month because you get everything else with it. So, like, the idea that now Xbox is in this market of we make the hardware, we make the software, we're financing it ourselves. So why wouldn't you have our system in your house? It's kind of unbeatable, you know. It's kind of unbeatable. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the financing piece?
Yeah. I think that, subscription finance based makes it more affordable. I mean, everything is kind of shifting that way, right? Um,
Yeah,
so it's super competitive. I think it's going to definitely uh, shape the landscape of what is to come and what are the offerings in gaming.
yeah.
100%. So, um, It's hard to compete with PC. I think the way to compete with it is through price points. So,
Yeah, I mean
uh,
that's why I'm saying, like, if you look at everything that you're getting for, I think the what do we see, the Series X is like 39.
yep,
Yeah, it's like 39. It's like $39 a month, uh, and everything that you're getting at that price point. I mean, come on, 24 months, you know, and you get
yep,
and you build your credit, you know, even if you have the money to buy it, right? If that's 0% interest for 24 months, and you just put the money in a different account and just let it auto pull the money every account, so why
yeah.
not? You know, why not? Because look, at the end of the day, like that price point, the $4.99 price point, you're going against the Nvidia card, right? That's what, $6.99, I think, is what the Nvidia card, the 3080. Um, so, which I know I'm buying that for sure. I'm buying the video card for sure. I do want Series X because we're gonna need it for the channel, and I need a PS5. So I'm just gonna be getting rid of a shit ton of money, I guess. Apparently, is what it's gonna turn out to be. You know.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. And if if PlayStation will also release it come November too. That's uh that's what I want to see. The competition
Yeah.
for the gaming eyes in play. Um, so we will see about that. Um, is there anything else that is coming out that sparked your interest or your eyes in terms of games? And the last week we talked about Cyberpunk, a game that I think everyone's anticipating. There's a few other potential titles coming out at the end of year. Halo obviously was delayed until 2077. But anything else that you're looking forward to that you've been seeing or reading about?
Uh, not yet. I can't. I
There
don't.
you go. That is the industry as it stands
Yeah,
today.
I mean, dude, look, the industry right now, the streaming industry is being flooded with Fall Guys and Among Us. So what does that tell you about AAA titles,
Yep.
right? Fall Guys, I think it's fair to say by this time is a AAA title. Everyone is playing it. Everybody. No one's playing it the right way. I play it the right way. No one else is, and we'll stream that. But, you know, but I think that there's a lull right now happening in games. I don't. That's kind of why I'm excited that Marvel Avengers is out and something to do. I think you get a lot of these indie developers developing games. Um, I don't know, like I every now and then I launch Steam and I just hope that Steam shows me something I didn't know was coming out, and my mind is blown.
Yep. I mean, you have some of these top streamers playing old games, going back in the past and playing some of these old titles, and
Trying to get into
it's
my realm.
cool. Yeah, I mean, reinvigorating the title and the franchise, which is cool. So people are discovering some of these older PC games on Steam, but it's a
Yeah.
problem when you have to dive back into the past to try to come up with something that's entertaining to play and watch.
Yeah, and I think the issue is that it's more of like, are you just like, what are you doing on your stream? And what they need to do is they need to, we'll go back to it. Call of Duty skinned as GI Joe. It's people are going into nostalgia at this point because there's fucking nothing else, right? They're just doing, it's like we're seeing nostalgia happen in comics, we're seeing nostalgia happen in streaming, we're seeing nostalgia happen in movies. We it's all over the place, you know. So you gotta pick up got to pick up on it and catch that and make sure that you don't miss out on it. And it's which is kind of concerning a little bit to me when it comes to next gen consoles. Right, right now, even right now, like there's a crap ton of articles around PS5 doing a price drop to $399 just to undercut Xbox. And if you think about Xbox, Xbox for Microsoft has been a money loss ever since it started, right? So Sony is looking at this in terms of like, cool, you announced your price at $499. We know we could go to $399 and not lose money. That doesn't mean that all of their systems are $399, right? Everyone always advertises the lowest price. You never advertise like Microsoft Series X like $1,500, but that's probably the one you want to buy, right? So when you think about what is happening right now is, are we just going to be fucking buying next gen consoles to play previous gen games? And then at that point in time, there really is no purpose to buying a console when you could just do that already on PC. Right? Like I have the mini Nintendo, like the little tiny one they re-released. And all you have to do, you know, is if you were smart and figured it out, you could have every Nintendo game you'd ever want on that thing. You know? So when you think about like everyone in this argument for like next gen consoles, what is next gen console gaming gonna look like in 6 months after they launch? Am I gonna like jump on and play throwdown and just go around and throw down all this money and then just to play fucking Hunt Down on PS5? Like, you know, so
Pretty spectacular, though.
it'd probably be pretty epic, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm a little concerned on that. I could tell you the order in which I'm buying them. We'll be buying the 3080. That's gonna be the Chet Maddox first unboxing. Is gonna be the 3080.
Tuesday? When's that coming? When's that coming? November?
4 days.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, that's when you can buy it. I don't know when it's gonna ship.
Okay. All right.
But we're gonna get that PS5 and then Series X, in that order, and we'll see what that looks like. What about you? What do you get? I know you just got your like $8,400 PC. So what else are you gonna get?
I think I've got the current Xbox.
Yeah.
So I think PS5 is the next step. I've always been a PlayStation guy.
Do you have interest in Series X, or are you kind of on the boat of like, I'm gonna let it play out, and if it's actually good, is that kind of where you're at?
I think so. I think it depends on the title, right? And with Halo delayed, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else Microsoft-wise that is going to draw me to that.
Well, you'd have. I mean, you and I are massive fans of Gears of War.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to drop anytime soon.
No. What they need to do is get Cliffy B back and have him do a multiplayer BR Gears of War.
It'll never happen. I wanted to. It'll never happen. That guy could write his own price.
Yep. Yep. Well, again, we will see how things unfold, but we are excited to see over the next couple of months where the industry takes us, different games and different consoles. We wanted to jump into, so we talked about in one of the streams this week, some chat was getting into like underrated movies, specifically centered around like comic books and stuff and pop culture. There was a few mentions of movies that are typically overlooked. We talked a little bit about last week, like some of these titles like The Crow, Spawn, the animated series. Are there a couple films that are not like super mainstream that were like comic book or pop culture related that you're like, this is Chat's recommendation? You got to like stream it right now. You got to go to Blockbuster right now and rent it. Oh shit, they don't exist anymore. But
What? When did Blockbuster
go on,
close down?
but yeah, well, that's for another stream. We'll get into why and all that stuff. Sorry to break your hopes there, Chet.
Jeff, how come you didn't tell me Blockbuster closed? Sorry, one second. Jeff is my multimedia guy who is supposed to inform me of this shit so I don't look stupid on stream. And he's not doing it. Yeah, well, I just found this shit out from Rad. Why didn't you tell me? We'll deal with this later. Sorry about that. Hey, so what I wanted to, one of the most underrated movies, if you just want something to fucking laugh, is Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. If you wanna watch a video and be like, you know what, that's awesome, that's one of them.
Yep.
I mean, have you seen it?
Oh, it's great. It's fucking great.
I know you're. Yeah, I don't know. What else is there?
You know what movie is really great that I
No.
know a lot of people already know is Equilibrium.
Dude,
With Christian
Equilibrium.
Bale.
Yes.
The gun kata. That's
Yeah, gun.
that was a badass concept.
That's
man.
like a movie. It's like a mix between. Yeah, I mean, it's like its own movie mixed with like 1984.
Yep. That's a really great movie. Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze. Just kidding.
No,
Kidding.
but a movie that is getting underplayed is I do think that people need to go back and watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1.
Yeah.
I strongly worded letter to everybody. Please watch Ninja Turtles 1, the movie, live action, and then come back and tell me 5 reasons why it's not better than any of the ones that have come out. Because it's not, you're not going to be able to.
Vanilla Ice wasn't in the first one, so that's one reason why it's not.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Speaking of Equilibrium, right? Have you seen the Guns Akimbo? Guns Akimbo, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
That's an interesting movie. You know, it was almost kind of like I got it's like did you ever watch that movie Gamer?
No.
With Sparta dude, whatever his name was. The guy from 500 or 300. I can't remember his name. Anyways,
they made 7 of those too, didn't they? Like 300 part 1, 301, 302.
300 should have been part 4.
300 and a little baby. No, I never saw it.
300 and a baby. So the Guns Akimbo was kind of like a mix between that and. But yeah, I would agree with you on that one. Boondock Saints is still one of the most underrated films. Then that shit, speaking of Blockbuster, only got made because Blockbuster funded it. So that was I would say that the director got a little cocky and arrogant, and that's why he's like one of the most hated directors in film ever. That's a highly underrated movie, and I'm just gonna go on record right now, and you guys can tell me to kick rocks if you want, but I actually like the second one, and I know that that's very much like an island on its own is I guess the best way to say it.
You're on an island that doesn't exist with that
What, you didn't like it?
No.
Did you like the first one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, well,
I mean, that's basically saying like you like Ninja Turtles: The Secret of the Ooze better than the first.
that's not even close. I didn't say I like him better. I said I still like it.
You know what movie sucked that could have been good? A-Team.
Yeah. Uh, I don't want to. I don't want to talk about that. The the uh, the potential in that movie existed, and they didn't do anything with it. You know, that was my problem with that. It could have been great. It wasn't, and that's why they just didn't continue it. Go back and watch the TV show, and you'll see what we're talking about. TV show, awesome. It's the only show where they fire a million bullets and hit nobody
Yep.
every time.
I mean, it's hard to take a character like Mr. T and try to replicate or substitute him on the big screen. I mean, it's like Mr. T. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Mr. T's up there with like Macho Man. Like Macho Man was in the A-Team. You try to get somebody to play a Macho Man. It's like, dude, it's just
Not gonna
that
happen.
character is just too like you can't do it. You can't do it justice. I don't care how good of an actor you are. Just that is such a crazy pop culture type of icon
Yeah.
that
You know what?
you're
You know
gonna
what the
fail.
you know what the biggest problem is with these TV adaptation movies is they don't, like, to my knowledge, they don't bring on the original writers as people of, like, just to make sure that the shit is still within the same realm of their head, because you could write Mr. T into a movie, and Rampage Jackson actually could have done a good job at it. But the writers didn't write him the way that they would have written him. Like, you could have taken Rampage and put him in the TV show and done the same lines as Mr. T, and it would have worked out. But the problem is when they do these
Yep.
adaptations to movies, they don't have like script supervisors that worked on the actual show, making sure that. And then if you think about it, any show or movie that they've done that where they've used original writers as reference and they bring them on, those tend to be better than most, because it's like we like these shows, we love these shows, we want to see these shows, but we don't give a shit about a fucking intern who's like 21, who this is their first job getting to write fucking a movie, and then they think after watching like 2 weeks of the A-Team they understand the humor, right? It's like when you, perfect example of the best way I can explain it. Um, if you look at old TV sitcoms, right, and you watch them, and you go back and you watch them now, it's all about comedic timing, right? And if you look at that, that was a way of writing that existed coming out of the Carol Burnett era, Lucille Ball, like all these writers are coming out of these TV shows towards the end of their career, right? But they're like writing, or the people that are writing these TV shows were under like supervision of these people, or they had experience in this. And so those TV shows back in the late '80s, early '90s on TGI Fridays, these guys, it was a way of writing, you know, and that's where these movies, like, they're not using the right supervising script editor, writer, people to help with these movies to make them successful. This is not. That's why these movies get like pushed under the rug. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Well, we could spend a whole podcast talking about Hollywood remaking things, TV movies, and at the end of the day, man, it's a rarity where they do it better than the original. I mean, you could probably count on one hand where they went in and actually remade a movie that was better than the original movie, or remade a TV series that was better than the original TV series. It's hard to even think off the top of my head, um, if they did that. So we'll see. We'll see how things unfold in Hollywood. But again, I think there's some really good movies out there. And again, if you haven't seen Equilibrium, watch Equilibrium. If you
Yeah,
haven't seen Ninja Turtles, especially if you got some some kids, man. Ninja Turtles is really good. Even if you don't have kids, man, you're a Turtles fan. It's pretty excellent, man. It takes me back to my childhood, at least. Turtles were badass, and it's kind of cool how they did it, man. Like no
Yeah.
CGI. I appreciate that. You know, I appreciate.
Yeah, practical
old
effects will
school.
always win me over CGI, man.
Yeah, old school style.
One last film before we move on.
Yeah.
I really just got to put it out there, man. He just came out with Bill and Ted's Final Journey or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
dude, Constantine.
Oh yeah, that's a great one too.
I think that if you haven't seen Constantine, you need to see it. Keanu Reeves was in it. Shia LaBeouf was in that as well. Tilda Swinton, I think. Yeah, she was in that. It was a really well done version of Constantine, man. But yeah, that definitely didn't do practical. They had some practical effects. That was a lot of CGI. But yeah,
That's
super
a great
underrated,
movie, man.
Super underrated.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, Chet, for episode 2 of the cast? Anything else you want to talk about? Anything that's been on your mind? Anything that you want to reveal? What's coming up this week for streams, man? What are we streaming? What are we getting into?
Dude, we are gonna do now that we got the audio fixed. We're actually gonna do a bunch of multiplayer grinding on Avengers. We're gonna do some Magic: The Gathering. We're gonna try to get back into that. And then who knows what else, man? You know, maybe we'll get into some 32-bit games. Probably we're still finding our groove on here, trying to figure out our stream schedules, figure out what that is. You know, I do want to there's a lot of really good just like roguelike playing like 32-bit-ish type games out there that I think we need to give some love to. And then we're definitely going to jump into some Fall Guys. So yeah, you know, we'll see what happens, and then you know, get back into the next episode of the podcast, and we got some other rad videos popping up that aren't live streams. So those are gonna start populating into the channel. Yeah, maybe even Call of Duty. I'm not sure yet. There's everyone streams Call of Duty because everyone's the next greatest player, right? And that's mostly just because like they haven't met me, but hey, it works, you know.
Yep. They have not met you, but they will meet you.
Yeah.
In-game.
Once the Headband Club starts to take over, you know, we'll get it. You know, it is what it is. But it's all new, so hopefully we can land on some kind of schedule and make it consistent, and we'll keep going from there. So yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, it's exciting to be on YouTube. Definitely. We appreciate all the subscribers, all of the viewers of the cast. Again, all you got to do, it doesn't cost you any money to click and subscribe, like our videos. Spread the word, man. Channel will only get better, and we'll bring you fresh new content as time progresses. But it's been awesome to bring you another episode of the Thundercast, man, and I'm excited to do this every week, and I'll be joining Chet on some of the streams through the course of the next several weeks.
Yep. All right, guys, you heard it here. If you don't subscribe to our channel, we will take your AC this week. And so, you know, next week you don't want to know what we're going to take. It's going to be pretty difficult. But until next time, guys, you know, stream it, don't dream it. Thundercast.